So good morning and welcome back to Data Structures Theory Sessions. Theory sessions, but we were discussing practical related to stack. In previous session, we discussed all the operations on stack. So how to define stack. Stack is nothing but a collection of elements where we do all the operations on top. So to have a collection of elements, we took array, and to remember the topmost position, we took one more variable, top, and we combine those two things in a structure. We call it a stack. Not only that, along with the behavior like last in, first out, LIFO structure, if you build this behavior, then and then only you can say it is a stack. So to achieve that behavior, we have defined number of operations. The first one, we initialize the stack, and then we go for push, pop, maybe peep, change, display, and so on. So we've gone through those algorithms and discussions and all those things earlier also, right? And at the end, just in a previous session, we have started implementing a program. So this is what we were up to. We have started understanding how we can create menu-driven program, because when we want to test something or we want to demonstrate something, then we should be having some options, what I want to do. And I'm not going to run my code multiple times. I will run it once and I will test it for whatever number of operations I want. So for that, what we have done here was we have gone for a menu-driven program structure. We started with listing all the operations and then asking user which option or which operation you want to perform. Now, when user gives you the choice, based on a choice, if you want to perform something, then we go for switch case. When we execute that code, it is going to run only once. एक ही बार चलेगा वो. Now we want to repeat that process, so we keep this entire part in a while loop. So that will be iterated. Now we make this while loop infinite. So while one means always true. Non-zero values is considered as always true. So while one is infinite loop. Now if it is infinite, then at what time we are going to terminate that thing? So we have given an option to user for exit. And in that switch case, we are going to terminate our entire program, exit 0. Okay? So that's how this menu-driven program works. Now this is a basic skeleton. Now if you want to go for queue, the same structure will be there. Just menu will be changed. Instead of push pop, you will have insert delete. For linked list, again menu will be changed. Instead of push pop, you will have insert first, insert last, insert at position, delete first, delete last, delete at position, and so on. So menu will change, and correspondingly your cases inside your switch will change. But the basic skeleton will be the same. Now that is menu-driven program, but let's come back to stack now. What we want here is we want to implement a stack. So earlier we have declared a structure here with two members, and then we may have a structure variable. But if we write that structure at this place, then it is disposed or disclosed. We can say it is disclosed to everyone. Anyone can see how you have implemented your stack. Now we want to make it abstract for others. No one should know what am I doing here. So for that, what we have done, we have created a separate file, and in that file we have defined our stack with two members. Now, along with that, what I want is, let's say we want to make this stack as a data type also. So using type-def keyword, we define a new data type and we give it a name stack. So the syntax of type-def is type-def, then you give your structure, and then at the end you give it a name. उसको आप एक नया नाम दे दो. So this capital stack is a new data type name. So later on, what I can do is I can use that as a data type, and then I can declare a variable. Okay, so later on I can use that data type and I can declare those variables, as many variables I want, wherever I want, provided this definition is already there. Now, this is a separate file where we are defining our stack. Now, if we want to use this one, then we need to include this file here, right? So if you want to use CLR, SCR or other functions, what you do, you include conio.h. If you want to use printf, scanf, you include stdio.h. If you want to use few, let's say, exit function here, then we need to include stdlib, standard library.h file. So all those are the functions defined in separate files, and if we want to use it, we include it. Now the similar way, push, pop, peep, change, all these functions will be defined in a separate file. अगर हमें वो use करने हैं तो हम उस फाइल को include करेंगे. Now it can be C file also. ये stack.c भी चलता है. It can be C file, it can be header file. Okay? A C program can include other C file. It is possible. But मैंने यहाँ पे क्या किया, we have gone for stack.c, which is demo purpose, and we have gone for stack.h. आपको आसान लगे समझने में कि भाई ये एक header फाइल है, इसको मैं include करके use कर सकता हूँ. So we call it stack.h. So what we have done, we have included this header file stack.h inside this one. So now that stack is abstract. जब मैं डेमो दे रहा हूं मुझे पता नहीं अंदर क्या है. That stack is abstract for me. As a user, it is abstract for me. As a developer, I know कि भाई वो क्या है, हमने खुद बनाया तो हमें पता है. But user की perspective से देखो तो आपको पता नहीं है कि अंदर क्या होने वाला है. Okay, yeah, Rahul is asking, then stack is a data type or class? Well, stack is data type. Okay, Rahul. Class is not allowed in C program because C does not follow object-oriented approach or fundaments. In C++, you can create classes. And the syntax of creating class is different than type-def. Type-def is going to define a data type. That's it. Okay? Yeah, coming back to this example. So we have included that file here. अगर वो फाइल इंक्लूड हो गया तो डेटा टाइप भी आ गया. अगर डेटा टाइप आ गया then we can declare a variable at this place now. So main के अंदर अब मैं एक नया वेरिएबल ले सकता हूं और मैं वहां पे डेटा टाइप स्टैक लिख सकता हूं. क्यों? क्योंकि मैंने जहां पे डिफाइन किया है उसको इंक्लूड कर लिया. अगर आप इंक्लूड करना भूल जाओगे तो ये प्रोग्राम नहीं चलेगा. ओके? Well, so once we have included that thing, we can declare a variable. And now we can go for any operation. C file के अंदर आप functions call करोगे और header files के अंदर आप सारे functions define करोगे. Okay? ये याद रखना है. So, as a user, अगर मुझे सिर्फ ये stack use करना हो तो कैसे कर सकता हूँ? Well, I declare a variable then I initialize it, एक ही बार initialize करना होगा, and then we go for number of options, and based on those options we have number of cases. So case 1 is for what? Push operation, right? So अगर नई वैल्यू पुश करनी है तो आप यूजर के पास से एक नई वैल्यू मांगोगे. So we go for printf, please enter a value, वो वैल्यू आप लोगे, and then you are going to call a push function. अभी कमेंट करके रखा है because we haven't defined it. We'll see that. So ये हो गया push operation. Then case 2 is a pop operation. Now pop operation क्या करता है? What pop operation will do? Look, when I call pop, what I need to pass here is I need to pass my stack variable s, और मैं as a call by reference pass करूंगा. We are going to pass address of that stack variable here. अगर आप एड्रेस पास नहीं करोगे तो वो कॉल बाय वैल्यू हो जाएगा. कॉपी तो किसका जो भी है वहां से डिलीट हुआ. कॉपी के अंदर टॉप माइनस माइनस होगा, ओरिजिनल में नहीं. सो आप पॉप करोगे आपको वैल्यू मिलेगा, लेकिन वो वैल्यू ऐसा ही है, टॉप भी ऐसा ही है, तो हर बार आपको सेम वैल्यू पॉप मिलेगी. सो दैट्स अ प्रॉब्लम. दैट्स व्हाई वी गो फॉर कॉल बाय रेफरेंस. वी विल पास एड्रेस हियर. Now that function is going to return, okay, that function is going to return one value. तो उस value को हम यहाँ पे catch करते हैं, val. So value equals to pop function. Once we have received that value, we can print it, right? So we can print a value or a message popped value is %d and val. Now remember, if your stack is empty, then pop function is going to return null. वो क्या रिटर्न करेगा? null. और अगर वो null रिटर्न करता है तो आप यहाँ पे popped value is null ऐसे प्रिंट करोगे? No. So what we do is we will check a condition here. If val is double equals to null, or let's say if val is not equals to null, only then I'm going to print this value. अगर वो null नहीं है तो प्रिंट करेंगे, else do nothing. कुछ नहीं करना है, कुछ भी प्रिंट नहीं करना है, जाने दो, क्योंकि acknowledgement pop function के अंदर मिल जाएगा. So that's your case 2, push pop. Then we may have a case 3. Sorry, I simply copy this second case and I'll paste it because pop and peep has a minor difference. I'll make this case 3 and I'll call it peep operation. Then I'm going to call peep function, which will return me a value, and if that value is not null, then I will say topmost value is, because peep function will tell me what is the topmost value. So we will say topmost value is something. So that is my case 3. Now how about case 4? 4 is change. So let's say case 4 is going to be change operation, where if you want to change something तो आपको नई वैल्यू देनी पड़ेगी, और वो चेंज कहां पे करना है वो पोजीशन भी देना पड़ेगा. So we need two things here. One, we need a value. Please enter new value and we'll take it in val. Along with that, we will ask user, please enter position. And let's have that in POS variable, right? So we have to declare POS. Let's go on the top and let us declare one more variable, POS, right? So in change operation, we will ask user to enter a new value. We will ask user to enter a position, and then we are going to call change operation. The first parameter is going to be your stack variable always with address, so %s. Second parameter is going to be your position, and third parameter is going to be the value. Now that's how we call that function. And we are done with case 4. Case 5. Display, then is empty and is full. Okay, so this is display operation. Very simple. You simply call display, and you just need to pass your stack variable. That's it. And break. So that function will do that task for you. Then case 6. I think it is empty, right? We just want to check whether stack is empty or not. So I'll directly call that function from if. And inside that if statement, we are going to print a message. Yes, stack is empty. Else, no, stack is not empty. And break your case. Never forget to break your case, otherwise multiple cases will be executed. Well, so is empty. Well, is empty is a function, so it must have its own parenthesis, and we need to pass our stack variable here. That's how we call a function. So is empty is a function. And similarly, just like is empty, we can have is full. So that's going to be case 7. And the function is going to be is full. Sorry. Yes, it should be ampersand. Sorry. Not percentage sign, it should be ampersand sign, ampersand s. So my case 7 is full operation. Yes, stack is full. No, stack is not full. Then we have case 8 and default and everything perfectly already coded. So this is gonna be your entire C file, a demonstration file with all the functions. And now let me uncomment push operation also. So we are done with demo file. Demo file is ready, but this will not be executed perfectly yet because we haven't defined these functions. ये सारे फंक्शन जो मैं यहाँ से कॉल कर रहा हूँ हमने वो लिखे तो नहीं है अभी भी. So we need to go to header file and we have to define all those functions here. तभी वो फंक्शन कॉल होंगे और जो कुछ भी ऑपरेशन करना है वो ऑपरेशन कर पाएंगे हम. Yep, so let's define those functions, and what you should be thinking of right now is what is push operation. We have already done init operation, right? So what is push operation? Very quickly, when you want to push something, you have to increase your top and then save the value. But before you do that, you need to think about whether your stack is full or not. So you have to check top. If your top is max minus 1, then it is full. So this was the algorithm we discussed. First, we are going to check our top. If it is max minus 1, then overflow. Otherwise, we are going to increase our top and then we will save the value, given value. So let's do the same thing here in our program in push operation. So what am I going to do here? Push is not going to return anything, so void, and I call a push operation. This is my function. Now it is going to have two parameters. First one is going to be the stack pointer variable, because हमने address pass किया था, and second one is going to be simple integer value जो हमें save करना है, right? Now inside this, the first step is your condition. If your top is equals to max minus 1, लेकिन top इस तरह से आपको नहीं मिलेगा. Top is a member of your structure. Structure का variable क्या है यहाँ पे? S. और S normal variable नहीं है, वो pointer variable है. So we have to write S arrow top. This is how you can access those members. So S arrow top is double equals to max minus 1. Then we simply print a message, printf stick overflow. Okay. In else part, we are going to perform our two different steps. First one is going to be top plus plus, and second one is going to be data of top equals to value. Something like this. ये दो step हमें करने हैं, right? But how can we access those members? So for members, we need to go for S points to top, increase it, and then S points to data, S points to top equals to value. That's how we store the given value in data array. अगर वो value हमने store कर दी है, then let's have a proper acknowledgement for user. एक proper message डाल दें हम यहाँ से. Value inserted. User को पता चल जाएगा, हाँ value insert हो गया. So simple message. And that's it. This is your push operation. Look, in algorithm, we never go for these acknowledgement messages. जरूरी नहीं है algorithm में. Program में हम ये सारे printf लिखते हैं, सारे के सारे acknowledgement, because program is where your actual code is being executed. Program run कौन करेगा? User. तो user friendly होना चाहिए. User को हर एक step पे कुछ ना कुछ feedback मिलना चाहिए. अगर आप फीडबैक नहीं दोगे तो यूजर विल बी ब्लैंक. क्या हो रहा है उसे पता ही नहीं, राइट? सो दैट्स व्हाई वी इंट्रोड्यूस फ्यू मोर प्रिंटफ स्टेटमेंट्स हियर जो एल्गोरिथम में नहीं थे, प्रोग्राम में लिखेंगे. सो दिस इज योर पुश ऑपरेशन. एनी क्वेश्चन टिल नाउ? एनी डाउट और एनी क्वेश्चन हियर? Okay, so what we do now is we are quickly going to write all remaining operations. We'll go for pop. अगर मुझे pop करना है, then it requires stack variable, right, as a parameter. Then inside that, what we can do, first of all, we need to check whether our stack is empty or not. कैसे पता चलेगा? If your top is double equals to -1, then you can say your stack is empty. You can have a message stack underflow, right? Otherwise, in the else part, you are going to take a value from top. Okay? Data of top, you are going to receive in a value. Then you will decrease your top. And at the end, you will return that value. Now, we need to take that variable. We need to declare a variable here. And we are going to initialize it with null. And if we are returning something, कुछ अगर return करते हो, तो आपका function जो है, उसका return type होना चाहिए. And that's going to be integer here. So that's why we have int pop, and inside that, first is the underflow condition. Otherwise, we take a value, we decrease our top, and we return that value. That's gonna be your pop. As you all know, a very minor difference in pop and pip. So copy and paste, I call this pip operation. The only change is what? Need not to update your top. So I'm going to delete this statement. If I have only one statement in else, I'll also delete those parentheses. Now that is my pip operation. Now let's work on display is empty and is full. पहले हम ये तीन कर लेते हैं. Change last में देखेंगे. So display, it returns nothing, so void. It requires stack variable, and inside that display operation, अगर आपका stack खाली है तो proper message दोगे. So we'll go for if s points to top is double equals to -1. Then we print a message stack is empty, right? Else, I'm going to print all the elements from my stack. So I'll say stack contains and then new line, because सारे के सारे elements जो हैं वो मैं नीचे नीचे print करूँगा. Every element will be on the new line. So this is the heading part, stack contains, and then we want to print multiple elements. We'll go for for loop, right? And inside that for loop, we are simply going to print integer value. So %d, next value on a new line, so /n, and now this %d, it will have value from where? From your stack. So s points to data. From which position? So we are running a loop, so I index. Now what is I? Let us declare I as a variable, and then let us run a loop here, starting from I equals to something, I less than greater than something, I plus plus करना पड़ेगा. So from where we start from top and we go up to 0. टॉप से लेके 0 तक के सारे एलिमेंट हम प्रिंट करेंगे, क्योंकि हमारा जो बॉक्स है वो ऊपर से ही खुला है, स्टैक जो है वो ऊपर से ही खुला है और कहीं से खुला नहीं है. तो हमें वैल्यू कहाँ से मिलेगी? टॉप से. So we will start printing those values from top. So s equals to top, and then अगर top से 0 जाना है, then it is going to be the reverse loop. So instead of I plus plus, it is going to be I minus minus. और कहां तक जाएंगे? Till I is greater equals to 0. जब तक I की वैल्यू 0 या 0 से बड़ी है, we will run this loop. So this is going to print your entire stack. That's the display operation. Now is empty and is full, we have already we have already written that code. This is a code for empty, right? S points to top is -1, then it is empty. So let's write those functions now. I'll say I'm going for isEmpty function, which takes one parameter stack variable, and inside that I'm going to check whether my stack is empty or not. So if your stack top is equals to -1, then yes, it is empty, else no, it is not empty. Now what user wants to check whether it is empty or not. आप अगर यहाँ पे सिर्फ एक मैसेज प्रिंट कर दोगे तो यूजर को आउटपुट में मैसेज मिलेगा. Now what if user wants to check whether your stack is empty or not inside its code, inside the code itself. कोड के अंदर बेस्ड ऑन द कंडीशन स्टैक खाली है या नहीं, उसके हिसाब से मुझे और कुछ परफॉर्म करना हो, तो अगर आउटपुट में मैसेज दूंगा तो कोड को कैसे पता चलेगा खाली है या नहीं है. सो हियर इन दिस काइंड ऑफ फंक्शंस, इज एम्प्टी, इज फुल, इस तरह के जो फंक्शंस होते हैं, वहां पे आप प्रिंटफ नहीं करोगे, वहां से आप कुछ रिटर्न करोगे, ट्रू और फॉल्स. If your stack is empty, you return true. So we can say, okay, I need to return true, and here I need to return false. Right? We need to return either true or false, yes or no. Now C program does not have a support of Boolean data type. C के अंदर Boolean data type नहीं है, तो मैं यहाँ से true false return नहीं कर पाऊंगा. Then we will go for a kind of a flag. You know what is flag? Right? आप कहीं पे बैठे हो, आपका फ्रेंड कहीं दूर खड़ा है, आपको कोई सिग्नल भेजना है, तो आप क्या करते हो? You wave a flag. वो आपका फ्रेंड वहीं पे खड़ा खड़ा देख लेगा, हाँ कुछ तो सिग्नल आ गया. Just like flag, you might have used that flag in let's say search operation. You want to search something within an array, तो हमने flag यूज किया था. अगर वैल्यू मिली तो फ्लैग सेट करेंगे, वैल्यू नहीं मिली तो फ्लैग को ऐसे ही रहने दो. So you initialize your flag with 0. Flag is nothing but a variable. So flag equals to 0. जैसे ही वैल्यू मिलेगी आप फ्लैग को 1 कर दोगे. 1 we wave a flag. 0 फ्लैग नीचे पड़ा है. राइट? अब यहां पे भी मैं कुछ फ्लैग के तरह कर सकता हूं. 1 is yes it is empty, 0 it is not empty, and that 0 and 1 will help me in if condition also, because let's have a look at those cases. हमने is empty कहां से कॉल किया? within a if statement condition. अगर यहां से 1 रिटर्न आता है तो नॉन जीरो मतलब ट्रू, और अगर वहां से 0 रिटर्न होता है, 0 मतलब फॉल्स, तो वो रिटर्न वैल्यू 1 और 0 को मैं यहां इफ में भी यूज कर पाऊंगा. सो वी आर गोइंग टू रिटर्न ईदर 1 और 0. अगर ट्रू रिटर्न करना है तो एक्चुअली में आप रिटर्न 1 करोगे, एंड अगर फॉल्स रिटर्न करना है तो आप रिटर्न 0 करोगे, that's it. And when we return a value, return type should be there. Function का return type होना चाहिए, so integer. That's my isEmpty function. So similar kind of the structure will be there for isFull. Copy, paste, change your function name, and change the condition. If your top is what? Max minus 1, then yes, it is full. Otherwise, it is not full. And we are done. So we have done number of operations. We have implemented those operations in this file. हमने एक operation implement नहीं किया, change. We'll do it later. Let us first test this out. Look, now I have experience and I have everything in my mind, so I directly write entire code. And I don't want to break your link, तो आप एक साथ ये कोड देख सको, इसलिए मैंने कर दिया. आप क्या करोगे? Now when you are implementing your stack, आप एक फंक्शन इंप्लीमेंट करोगे, पुश, प्रोग्राम रन करके पुश चेक करोगे रन हो रहा है या नहीं. चलो रन तो हो गया, लेकिन पता कैसे चलेगा एक्चुअल में वैल्यू पुश हुई कि नहीं हुई? पुश के बाद आप जाओगे डिस्प्ले करने, एंड देन यू विल रन योर कोड. एक से ज्यादा वैल्यू पुश करो, डिस्प्ले करो, चेक कर लो अपना कोड चल रहा है, अच्छे से चल रहा है. देन यू गो फॉर पॉप. पॉप फंक्शन लिखो, अगेन टेस्ट करो. You write these operations one by one, and every time you need to check those functions whether it is working properly or not. That's how you should do this entire program in your lab session. Okay. Well, so this is my stack right now. Let's go to the demo file and let us comment change operation because we haven't implemented this yet. अगर मैं इसको कंपाइल करूंगा तो वो मुझे एरर देगा. So I'm going to comment this out right now. Just for time being, let us comment it out. And now what we will do is we'll run this code now. Well, there are few maybe warnings. Okay, what that warning is, it says comparison between pointer and integer and void. Well, let it be. 4 warning था, null के लिए होगा maybe. Let it be, कोई बात नहीं, चलेगा. Because value val variable is integer, जबकि null कोई integer value नहीं है. Null means nothing. So when we compare those two, it generates few warnings. Let it be. But as you can see, below that we have our code, or we have our output, our menu. So it is asking us, list of operations is given to us, and it is asking us enter your operation number, right? So initially it says your stack is initialized, which means my stack has been initialized properly and it is empty right now. वो खाली होगा. Let us check. Is empty. Option number 6. Right? So it says yes, stack is empty. Now this message is coming from where? This message is coming from this line number 58. Because it is empty, it has printed this message. And this message is from demo file, okay, not from the header file. अगर वो खाली है तो definitely वो full तो नहीं हो सकता. Let's check it out. Option number 7. So it says no, stack is not full. Okay, stack खाली है, full है, check तो कर लिया. What if I go and display my stack right now? Option number 5. It says stack is empty. कुछ है ही नहीं उसके अंदर. अच्छा चलो खाली है. Let us push few values. So now still our program is running. So now we will go for option 1. It will ask me a value. So I'll say I want to insert 5. So I've given option 1, value 5, and it has returned me the acknowledgement message, value inserted. अगर सही में वो वैल्यू अंदर गया है तो डिस्प्ले में आना चाहिए. Let us display our stack now. Again, option 5. So now it says stack contains 5 और एक ही वैल्यू है वहां पे अभी. I'm going to insert few more values now. So option 1, value 4. Option 1, value 3. Option 1, value 2. Option 1, value 1. तो अभी तक हर बार मुझे क्या मैसेज मिला? वैल्यू इंसर्टेड. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 इतनी वैल्यूज मैंने इंसर्ट की है. लेट अस डिस्प्ले. Five was the first value, so it is at the bottom. 1 was the last value, so it is on a top. ये समझना होगा आपको. That's why intentionally I have gone for reverse order insertion and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 printing. तो आपको ये पता चले कि भाई हाँ ये टॉप टू बॉटम प्रिंट हो रहा है. ओके Well, okay, 5 value डाल दी. What was the maximum size? 5. What happens if I insert one more value here? We go for push operation and I give value 8. It says stack overflow. क्योंकि stack की size 5 है, 5 वैल्यू ऑलरेडी मैंने डाल दी है, then there is no more space to accommodate new value. So it says stack overflow. Now ये stack overflow message कहाँ से आया? It is from this line number 17. Inside your push operation, if your stack is full, तो आप stack overflow message दोगे, आप वैल्यू को स्टोर नहीं करोगे. Okay, so that's why we have stack overflow message. Fine. What if I want to delete, or what if I want to pop one value? We go for option number 2. So option 2 and enter. Option number 2. So it says popped value is 1. 1 क्यों? क्योंकि 1 लास्ट में इंसर्ट हुआ था. स्टैक इज लिफो स्ट्रक्चर, लास्ट इन फर्स्ट आउट. जो लास्ट में अंदर गया वो पहले बाहर निकलेगा. लास्ट में 1 गया था तो 1 पहले निकल गया. नाउ इफ इट इज पॉप्ड, 1 अगर निकल चुका है, लेट अस चेक इट आउट. डिस्प्ले. अगर आप डिस्प्ले करोगे तो अब 1 नहीं दिखेगा. इट हैज पॉप्ड. It has been popped. So what is your topmost value now? 2. अगर सिंपल चेक करना है, I don't want to pop it, मुझे सिर्फ चेक करना है कि what is topmost value, then I can go for option 3, pip. It says topmost value is 2. And now if I display, वो 2 वहीं का वहीं है, वो रिमूव नहीं हुआ, मैंने सिर्फ चेक किया. But if I pop option number 2, तो वो पॉप हो गया. And now if I go for display, नहीं दिखेगा वो. So that's your all the operations. Very quickly, if you want to perform change operation now, I'm going to show you the code right? So change will not return anything void. Change is the function name. It will have state variable, it will have position, and it will have a value. These three parameters are going to be there. And from given position, we are going to calculate index, integer idx. We are going to calculate it. What was the equation? Equation क्या था? Top minus pose plus 1. Right? This was the equation. This was the equation. You calculate your index and then you validate that index. You have to validate this calculated index. This idx must be less than equals to top, and at the same time your idx must be greater equals to 0. This is the range, 0 to top. If it is, then what you can do is you can access your data array, and inside the idx place you store given value and print the acknowledgement message. Value change, right? In the else part, you can print a proper message that given position is invalid. अगर गलत index calculate हुआ, then it is just because of invalid position. So we give a message, given position is invalid. Now, when we have seen the algorithm, we have also seen that you can check whether your stack is empty or not. अगर वो stack खाली है तो आप underflow message भी दे सकते हो. आपको ये index calculate करने की भी ज़रूरत नहीं है. And if you don't want to do it, it's okay. ये भी code चलेगा. अगर stack खाली है तो कोई भी position दो, वो message क्या देगा? Given position is invalid. अगर stack खाली है, then none of the position can be valid. So it is going to print this message always. Given position is invalid. Explicitly आपको बताना है कि भाई आपका stack खाली है तो अलग से if लिख लो, message दे दो. So this is my change operation. Let us save. Let's go back to demo file. Uncomment this statement. Right? And let me stop this execution. We forgot to do that. So I'm going for 8 here. Right? And then I'll come back, I save my file, and I'm going to run this code now. Okay, so very quickly let us insert few values. This time I'm going for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 stack. Now I want to change 2. मुझे 2 को change करना है. So from top it is 4th position. Let's go for change operation. Change is option number 4. उसने नया value मांगा. Let us have 8. नया value 8. वो position मांगेगा. Position is 4. So it says value changed. चलो check करते हैं display. So 2 की जगह 8 हो गया. Done. But let's say if I go for change operation, any value, and let me say value position 7. Position 7. तो वो बोलेगा given position is invalid. And here we have implemented our entire stack. Stack as an abstract data type. क्योंकि उसकी हेडर फाइल जो है वो पूरी अलग है. अब आप किसी को भी स्टैक देना चाहते हो तो ये सिर्फ हेडर फाइल उसको दे दो. You copy paste this file, include it and use it. Right? So that's how you can implement your entire stack. This is your practical number 3 in your practical list. और इसी तरह से आप अपनी लैब सेशन में इसको परफॉर्म करोगे. Well, that's all for today. Let's conclude this session here. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for being part of this session, and see you in the next one. In next lecture, we will start applications of stack, infix to postfix conversions. Okay? Thank you.